Imagine that instead of building up a lot of animosity that we might be seeing against countries like China, what if we've learned from each other and harnessed their skill in building infrastructure? Imagine all the jobs that we can reposition and reskill the people if we have a nationwide infrastructure system. Hello, everyone. Recently, I have been reflecting on this a lot, and that is, I think many Americans or people believe that America lost the manufacturing jobs by accident, or that we have to bring all the manufacturing jobs back here. But when I do my research and also reflect on it, I don't think we have lost our manufacturing jobs by accident. It's actually by design. I think the past 30 to 50 years, we intentionally designed our system to outsource the job. Not solely that we want to benefit from the lower cost of labor elsewhere, but we decided that the advanced economy should really move up on the value chain. So we intentionally want to focus on economics such as marketing, branding, intellectual property rights, and technologies. I think those are the areas that we intentionally wanted to focus in. And by no doubt, we really drove in big profit, big economy of scales. And I think the missing part, the one part that we're missing, is that along the way, during the past 30 to 50 years, we forgot to build the bridge. We forgot the importance of the transitions, where we could have done our best to help those people who were mostly affected. Imagine that the wealth gap in the United States right now is not as bad. Or imagine that we actually had felt a great transition where the regular people have been reskilled or repositioned into where the economies needed them the most. We imagine that we have the infrastructure that support that, and people are positioned to where that they can make the best of their abilities. Would we still complain about the manufacturing jobs? I don't know. Maybe we would have. But I think the root cause of what we are experiencing today is not solely about manufacturing jobs. When we keep on asking the question, the basic questions, I think people are more concerned about, do they feel secure? Do they feel like the countries are having what they can do best for the people? I think the root question is, in many people's mind is, or the root important element is, as long as most people think that they are being well taken care of, that they aspire to do their part to contribute, where they can earn a living, where they can start a family, where they do not need to worry about many of the basic needs in healthcare, in a security of their place to stay, for food and shelter, etc. I don't think that if we are able to help the people, majority of the people, to have those basic rights, I don't think the manufacturing jobs is their main concern. I can share a couple of successful examples and we can really explore together what could be and how we can go from here. First example is Apple. Apple is an iconic America's corporation. There's no doubt that they make amazing products that people all over the world love. And Apple intentionally chose to outsource their manufacturing to other countries like China, and it has been a success. Of course, the manufacturer in those places, in China, I think some are in India right now, have made a certain amount of profit. But remember, the most of the profits are being made by the company, Apple itself. So imagine during the past 30 years or so, what if the government, the public sector, is able to partner with Apple to help support activities or projects to help reskill or reposition people in some other industries that are needed in our countries to build an advanced economy. Another example is the yogurt company Chobani. So Chobani manufactures a lot of their products inside this country, in our country. They rebuilt old factories into new factories. They hired underserved people, workers. I think there are a big portion of their staff members are refugees. And somehow they incorporate a social cause, a social element with purpose into their company. And they have been a success story for the past 10 to 20 years. So imagine there are more corporations and companies that operate like companies like Chobani. I think that will really, really change what we're seeing happening in this country right now. So I think the problems is not that we didn't benefit from outsourcing or having the nostalgic feeling that we have to bring everything back here. The bigger question, I think, is that what could have done if we make good use of all the profits that we have, and what could have been the best case if our government, working with the private sectors and with all the corporations, what it would be like if we reinvested all the profits, or some of the profits, not all of the profits, but some of the profits into infrastructure and harness more positive energy. This is where I think with our channel, HelloKindness, I want to incorporate more from all these greatest teachings that talks about different vibration and energy level. What if we harness the energy level of acceptance and courage and the willingness to learn? Imagine that instead of building up a lot of animosity that we might be seeing against countries like China, what if for the past 30 to 50 years, where we can obviously see their development in their own infrastructure, what if we've learned from each other and harnessed their skill in building infrastructure and that replicate that in our country instead? Imagine for the past 30, 50 years, we at the same time built the infrastructures of high-speed rail for the people, for transporting goods. By now, we would have seen these transport system can move goods from the West Coast to East Coast. Even the topic about the Panama Canal will most likely not be an issue if we have all the infrastructure that we need inside the country. That would actually make Panama Canal less relevant. Imagine all the jobs that we can reposition and reskill the people if we have a nationwide infrastructure system. Wouldn't that a big project as mass as like that will help re-employ our American citizens and people here? There's no way if we dedicate infrastructure building that we can outsource that kind of job elsewhere, right? So I think the key is we have to be strategic. We have to be strategic. And we really need to let go the unnecessary ego. In our channel, I really want to tie in, like I said, energy level, vibration level, consciousness level into the things that we're experiencing. Because this is where I think that we can work together to be mindful, to be well-rounded, and seek the middle ground instead of just looking into headlines and then we fell into the trap just because of a headline that triggers us. That's not what we want. And for our content, I really don't want to argue because I think there's no sense in arguing. I think it is important to really look at different things that are happening and try to have a well-balanced approach to looking at things at different sides. And I really need your support. If we want to spread this type of message instead of causing fear, causing anger, and just causing people to don't feel well looking at headlines, I really hope that you can support us by subscribing and liking the videos and even sharing. Thank you so much. I have a lot more content ideas and I would really love your comment. Thank you so much.